Seinfuck.
Henry Kissinger died last night. And the night before,
Pop the fucking champagne.
I was literally in a bar drinking. I got the message on my phone. Immediately, I get a call from my sister. She's just like, Henry Kissinger died. It was adorable. And all like, I know. And then I bought the whole bar a shot.
This fluttery, like, flute music in the background of the announcement. Robert, come quick!
Come, the most wondrous thing.
What day is it?
Yeah, what day is it? It's Henry Kissinger's death day, sir. Get me the fattest goose.
Get the fattest bird you can fucking find.
I'm gonna fuck the shit out of her.
Oh, whoa.
No, and I had a great night last night. Drank copious amounts, got tackled into a bush. It was awesome. I did get her number, so cheers.
You know, that's funny because you made it sound today like you were some sort of victim. Like this was our problem that you got tackled into a bush. You said, be nice to me. I got tackled into a bush by a woman whose phone number I got. And I so poignantly allowed that you had been tackled by a woman that you were vaguely desirous of obtaining contact information for. Ergo, this was not a victim crime.
I have a question for y'all. Now that he's dead, who's the next sort of prominent, like, bad American politician, Warhawk, whoever, the corrupt politician who, like, when he dies, everyone's going to be like, fuck that guy.
I would have said Colin Powell, but I guess he's dead. I kind of missed that bit of news.
I read a take on Twitter today, now that you mentioned it, that no one was, like, dunking on Colin Powell, and they thought that was strange. And it's like
he got away with it. Like he got to die with a little bit of peace because no one fucking
got away with it.
Yeah.
The madman.
I feel like if any administration's going to get away with it, it's going to be the Bush administration, just because they proceeded so
He's
many...
basically already got away with it.
Oh, yeah. People are like, he was just a country bumpkin who fumbled his way into the White House.
He was kitschy.
I guess it does have to be Dick Cheney then. That's who we're rooting for next.
Yeah. I want Cheney's head. That's true. Isn't he dead?
Nope.
No, he's still alive.
Cheney's still alive.
How unfortunate.
While we're on the subject of honoring or not the dead, I'm going to give a quick shout out to Shane McGowan of the Pogues, died today.
Oh,
that's right. That's
a real one.
I've been listening to that most of the morning as I recover.
What song did they do? Because I actually don't know this.
Fairy Tale of New York.
They did the freaking Irish Rover. They did Dirty Old Town. Fucking
Dirty Old Town,
amazing punk, like amazing icon.
Yeah. So for context, Malcolm, Shane McGowan was a Celtic punk rock icon of the 1980s. And he did so many drugs and smoked so many cigarettes and drank so much whiskey that all of his teeth rotted out of his head. And so, like, when people were dying in 2016, left and right, it was shocking that he was still alive.
I mean, he survived COVID. That's impressive.
And I would also like to say that a dear close friend of all of ours passed away, Glenwood.
Rest in peace.
Can we all go around and share some stories about Glenwood? I'll start. He taught me the trombone.
Wow. Intimately?
It was a rusty. Yeah, it was a rusty. Yeah. Low-hanging fruit.
Sorry, you're making me Google Glenwood. I feel bad.
What do you mean you're Googling Glenwood?
I remember one time at Brennan's down in McCaff, he taught me the meaning of what it meant to be a man.
Yo, same.
We played Buck Hunter on the arcade machine all night.
Yeah, he would do that.
And he punched me in the eye.
That sounds like him.
I'll never forget it.
There's a lot of dead Glenwoods.
Glenwood, he founded my second favorite California town after Inglewood.
He combined Glendale and Inglewood into one town.
He healed the divide. He got them together. Now it's Glenwood.
And he hosted their inaugural Folk Fest, which I think we can all remember. Glenwood Folk Fest, 1998.
Yeah. Well, you got me tickets, so I can't really forget it.
I'm being gaslit right now.
Thanks to him, he got, before Jerry Springer passed away, got Jerry to be the mayor of that town in Ohio.
That's true.
Yeah. Hey, Sasha, real quick question before you continue. Yeah. Who the fuck's Glenwood?
Oh.
Actually, like, genuinely, who the fuck is Glenwood?
Robert, it's Glenwood.
Don't
You
do
know.
this to me.
Ugh, you're embarrassing yourself. We all shared our memories.
God damn it.
Our very real memories.
Yeah, you had one job, and that was to share a memory of Glenwood.
My
and you
memory
didn't
of
do it.
Glenwood is that I am right now trying to remember who he is. So,
Great job.
tears all around. Wet. There was nary a dry face in the place.
Ever
Yeah.
the realist. He simply cannot be separated from reality.
I think Robert may have gotten a concussion from being pushed in that bush by that woman.
That's it.
It's not the first time Robert's been pushed into bush.
Pushed into bush.
Yeah.
Also the name of my solo album.
That makes it sound like you're trying to convince people to grow out their pubic hair. Like, come on, you
Push
can.
the bush.
I feel like that's also like how they were trying to get like punks to vote for George W. Bush in like the early 2000s.
Push
Rock
the
the vote,
bush.
push the bush.
Bush.
So I have an update. I feel like now we should do a bit of a production meeting mid.
Oh yeah,
Mid-episode.
mid-recording.
Yeah.
When we always do it.
I want to give you a brief update as to our TikTok presence, and I'm proud to announce that the Seinfuck TikTok has officially been blocked by the Boston Bruins Hockey Club.
Yeah! Wait,
Amazing.
really?
Big news.
That is
Is this
true.
because we called Marchand a rat so many times?
Yeah, essentially. So recently they had a video come out because they had a dad's trip. We may get into
Oh.
yeah. And all of the dads were doing this piece for TikTok, and this very rodent-like man gets in front of the camera, and he's like, "Hi, I'm Steve Marchand. I'm Brad Marchand's dad." And he goes, "Yeah, so a story from childhood. When Brad was about 10 years old, I saw him with a piece of paper, and he was just signing his name over and over again. And I said, 'Brad, what are you doing?' And he said, 'Well, I'm practicing my autograph for when I make the NHL.' And it moved on to the next dad, but he was the first one. And I commented using the company TikTok, and basically just in quote said, 'Yeah, when he was 10 years old, I was with Brad, and I saw him slew-footing kids on the playground.' And it kept getting taken down because I kept posting that over and over again. People were like, no.
What do we have to do to get you to stop implying that Marchand is the dirtiest player in the NHL? And that's when the deal was brokered.
That is a great milestone, Sasha. Thank you for letting us be a part of it.
It was months in the making. We were really gunning for this one.
I was just wondering which father Brad Marchand fucked on that trip.
Whoa.
Whoa. I need context to
Well,
that.
I'm glad you asked, Robert.
We getting into
You
it?
see, there's a big scandal in the NHL right now, the National Hockey League, for those uninitiated. And it has to do with a troubled franchise called the Chicago Blackhawks. One of their star players, Connor Bedard, has a special relationship with a hire they brought on specifically to mentor him by the name of Corey Perry, who was brought on to be a father figure for Connor. The problem is no one told Corey that father figure was not literal. He did not have to literally try to become Connor Bedard's father. And, there's a very suspicious suspension on the Blackhawks tonight.
Okay.
I think it's actually a waiver, a firing, if you will.
Yeah, he had his contract terminated, and then like there was all this like secrecy, and then they were like, we can't talk about it. But the thing that really bothered me was the fact that like when the rumors, there was like this obvious joke that came about, which was like, oh, Corey Perry fucked Connor Bedard's mom. Like that was the joke. That was the thing that was going around hockey Twitter. People were having fun with it, and every fucking NHL like insider, pundit, like whoever, all had the same talking point, which clearly came from the Chicago Blackhawks, which is they're like, I don't understand where these disgusting rumors have come from.
This is not true.
Yeah, you fans are filthy. Like your
minds are in the
gross.
fucking gutter.
True.
By denying it, they've encouraged it.
I think the thing that's crazy to me is that, first of all, the NHL is constantly lacking any sort of personality, any sort of fun. I was listening to the Steve Dangle podcast, and he was like scolding fans. He was just like, "So tell me how is it funny to imply that like Corey Perry fucked Connor Bedard's mom? Like,
It's incredibly funny. How is that?
What's
not
the humor
funny?
in that?"
Steve Dangle's such a plug, though.
Yeah, it's because it's like, first of all, he is a nerd, and then he would be going like, "I'm a parent now." And I'm like, fuck you, like, listen, you fucking, numbers stat nerd guy. Like, we're having fun.
Yeah,
All right.
I think
We're
Shannon
having
too.
a good time.
Shannon too was like, it's pretty awful. The idea of infidelity, it's not very funny. Why would it be
the
funny?
idea of infidelity.
Yeah.
He's
And-
not even poo-pooing the fact that. But at the same time, I don't care how seedy it is. It has to be the point where, like, if they just shut up about it, if they didn't say anything, it wouldn't have been a thing.
Oh, it would have gone away for sure. Until the
Yeah.
statement came out, if they just said nothing, it would have been fine. But like, and by the way, the fact that Corey Perry acknowledges this rumor in a statement is so funny. That is to me what makes it true. He's just like, by the way, I'm not sure how this got out that it was having to do with some of the teammates' family members. Like, all right, okay, dude, you fucked her. Just be like, read the first letter of every sentence of the statement. My God, it spells out MILF Hunter. Yeah.
I think the problem is that the league comes from essentially Canadian culture, and like we are a very servile people, and we're like, we don't like to rock the boat generally, whereas the American leagues are just so freewheeling in their personalities.
Yeah, well, I want to say this right now.
We're muddy people.
First of all, yeah, you're muddy people, but that's a good thing. The NBA had the same scandal happen to them like 15 years ago when LeBron James's mom fucked a player on his team by the name of Delonte West.
Funny. By the way.
Who's never denied it. He's just like, yeah, I did get down with.
How do you play against
Gloria
that guy?
James?
You can't. He's your kryptonite.
Yeah,
he dribbles in your face and just
yeah. They were in the same team. Maybe that's why he didn't trade or anything like that.
He just always stayed where LeBron is.
At the same time, this scandal in the NHL was happening, and I put scandal in quotes. The NBA was having a scandal in which a player by the name of Josh Giddey was accused of sleeping with a 17-year-old.
Oh my God.
He's like 22 and Australian, but
And
still, it was like they're having a whole. No, he did it in Oklahoma.
Here's the details: is that he plays for OKC. This happened like a year ago, and a lot of the communications got leaked, and it's hilarious. Where like. He's implicated pretty hard. Like, there's a Snapchat that this girl sent where it's like, just fucked Josh Giddey, lol. And he's standing in the background shirtless.
He's a white player.
I remember that.
And the thing is that he's saying, like, plausible deniability. Like, I didn't know. She didn't disclose that she was underage. She was appearing in, like, clubs. Like she had a fake ID and she was getting into clubs, and so like he's like no, like this.
You can sue the club for that, can't you? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, and the thing is that OKC apparently was brought in, and like they were made aware of this a year ago. They know this has been going on, and it only just came to light. And so with that in mind, they went back and they saw the end of year conference that they did with all the players and the coaches, and the coach of the Oklahoma City Thunder was asked, what do you think of when you think of a player like Josh Giddey? And he stands there in silence for 15 seconds.
I think he's a fucking pedophile. I think he's an hedophile.
It's better than that. He stands there in silence. He like does that thing where you look up and furrow your brow as if you're trying to think of the right words. And after 15 seconds of silence, he goes, age is a number.
Oh my God.
So he like thought. So he
That's
like
way
thought,
worse. You're right.
So somehow he thought like the news already broke or something, that like the internal discussion had already broken. He was trying to get underneath it. Like, I'm so confused.
I think he was just like, this player's caused us so much frustration that I just want to say something about him, but he can't say anything good about his character. He's just like...
You remember that, what was that? Was that on another Oklahoma team, by the way, where it's like a football coach and they're just like, what do you think of the execution of your team so far? He's just like, well, I'm in favor of execution. I hope this whole team gets executed.
I remember. That was great. I love that.
Well, you said you
so
had
Sasha, you have a SAG.
Yeah, I do. So a thing came up recently which really called to light some of those like thoughts that I have when it comes to like things that happened in my childhood that make me question, is that a thing that actually happened, or was I just young and like dreamt this or imagined that this happened? But it was in the days before everything was sort of cataloged on the internet. So there was a part of me that was like, this might have just been my fanciful imagination or whatever, because I tried looking it up and I didn't find any evidence of it. So what it was is that when I was 13, I was in grade 7, and I had a teacher who I'm not going to dox on here, but he did win the radio contest I'm about to allude to. So, like, his name is technically public knowledge.
Sounds a lot like doxing him.
Yeah, it does sound like doxing him. We're just going to call him Joe Pound. So, Dr. Pound...
Don't like that.
Dr. Pound comes into class one day. He sits down, and he was like our homeroom teacher, but he's also our math teacher. And he sits down and he says that there's going to be a news coming out soon that he won a competition, and it was run by Z95.3, which is a local radio station. He was like, "Oh yeah, so this is going to be a big thing, and I just wanted to tell you guys I won." And I won the grand prize. And so if you're going to be hearing about that in the next little while, I just wanted you to be the first. And we were all like, hell yeah, that's great, Mr.
That's
Pound.
awesome, Dr. Pound.
And then someone asks, like, so what was this competition? And the memory that I had is that he said he and like 10 other couples entered a competition to see who could impregnate their wife the fastest. And that he won.
Wait. So, I'm sorry. So, your math teacher admitted in class that he impregnated his wife faster than like 10 other couples or 9 other couples.
That was the memory. And it was one of those things where everyone who was present years later was like, that was like a goof, right? That didn't actually happen.
That couldn't have been the real thing.
It just sounds so weird that you're like, what? Because even as a kid, like, you don't really think too much of a lot of the implications. But now as an adult, you're like, what a fucking strange thing to put to a class of 12 and 13-year-olds. So I tried looking, and the radio station didn't have a web presence back then. So I went to Reddit. I went to the Vancouver subreddit. I laid out basically that whole story and was like, does anyone have any memory of this? Because like I can't have imagined this. And I got the usual response when I ask a question on Reddit where people tell me I'm a fucking idiot for asking a question. And then some people being like, oh, that sounds about right. The radio was weird back then. And then the DJ from the radio station responded with this.
That's awesome.
Hi there. My name's Drew, and my partner Nat and I, Nat and Drew in the Morning, were hosting the morning show on Zed at the time, and yes, that contest happened. It was called the Breeders' Cup.
No!
The race to see who can get pregnant first.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh.
Morning radio DJs are crazy.
Yeah, it was an annual thing for a few years. But what's cool about the
It was
year...
annual?
Thank God it wasn't anal.
Wait. They did this every year.
Yeah, for a couple years. And he says, but what's cool about the year you're referencing is that I still see that teacher. He and his wife live near me, and every so often we'll see each other out for walks. They keep me updated about how their son is doing. I believe he's competing on the national swim team a year or so ago. Was it bonkers? Yes. Also, really fun and incredibly cool to see the families that were born out of it. Thanks for listening.
I'm sure it was fun there, buddy.
All those years ago, and for sharing the memory now.
What the fuck are you on about, you fucking crazy spinster?
So wait, hold on. So the father had a strong swimmers, and now his son is a strong swimmer.
Shut the hell
go
up.
Fuck yourself.
Fuck you.
And so I don't know what to do with that, because there was always that part of my mind that was like, oh, well, I've Googled it over the years. I haven't found anything to corroborate this. So yeah, like, have you guys had anything in your childhoods where you're like, oh, that was a dream, and then you find out that it was actually real? Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a few. Let's see. I have one particular that sticks out in my mind, and that's that I thought I was dreaming, and that I was out at some strange dirt shack, like a shack out in the desert. It was lifted off the ground by supports and beams, and you had to get in a ladder to get inside of it. And the people I was visiting had all kinds of dirt bikes and quads and stuff, and they had a tiny TV that I saw the lost episode of SpongeBob on. They were advertising as a lost episode.
So specific.
Well, it's very specific. And I thought it was a dream for the longest time. And I told my mom about it because I thought it would be a funny dream. She's like, oh, no, you got a concussion that day. You fell off a motorcycle. And that's probably why you don't remember a whole lot of that. And to her, I say, I was 4 years old. Why'd you let me on a dirt bike?
That is a great question for your mom.
Oh, I have all kinds of great questions for her. Don't let me hold this segment up, though.
I was thinking about this because I feel like a lot of the stories from my childhood, for those who've listened to the podcast for a while now, will know that I will occasionally drop a traumatic childhood story that will both be funny, but also I feel like come away with it being like, that really happened? And it's like, yeah. The thing that I remember is that I was, and I only know this because I recently found photographs from this trip, was that I was like, didn't remember that my dad took me to Hong Kong for like 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Once when I was like 7 years old. This was just around the time my parents were divorcing. And so my dad was like, well, I got to go on this business trip.
Might as well take my 6-year-old son on.
I'll take my 7-year-old son. And I remember being like, why am I here? And it turns out my dad, one of his good friends, this guy named Charles, he had like a big house there. But the thing was there was a woman who showed up who I remembered as being like someone that my parents knew. And she was there. And then I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, kept being like, why is she there? Like, why is she here? And I looked back on it and I was like, I think that's my woman that my dad may have been having an affair with, and I don't know why I'm here now. And I kept being like, did this woman exist or not? Like, is this just like a false memory? And then I saw a photo and I saw the woman in the photo. I was like, oh my god,
she's real.
Holy shit. She's real. I did go to Hong Kong. I also remember from that trip going to some tea house and everyone making a big deal that I was like the whitest little boy to ever be at the tea house. They're like, this tea house is over 100 years old, and you're the youngest white boy to ever be in this tea house.
Congratulations.
And I do have a photo from the tea house.
Oh,
and
nice,
I was,
nice. I'm sure they tell that to every little boy, white little boy who goes there.
Every little round eye that comes in.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the way the places my dad would hang out or take me to, I don't really think little boys should have been brought to in the first place.
I would probably agree with that.
I remember on the TV as well in one of the hotel rooms we were at, like I believe Gundam was playing, some sort of Gundam show, but there was nothing in English. So, and I just remember the flashing images and then that woman being like, he's going to have a seizure if he keeps staring at the screen.
You didn't actually go to Hong Kong. You were just having a seizure and you imagined the whole thing.
You never went there. That woman's still not real. I do have a memory that I can share that I wasn't 100% convinced was real, and it was that when our family went to a family reunion. It was like a Delilah family reunion. There was in this family reunion, I'm a bunch of people. I have no idea. I remember I had a very strong memory of my dad sitting me down, being like, "Son, you have to make eye contact."
Holy moly.
And that from that moment on, I was like intensely making eye contact. Otherwise, I don't know.
Son, you gotta stop being a Can you do that for your pa?
And it worked.
Yeah.
You know what? My dad's the cure. No. But
yeah, my dad said, "Gotta get on the waves, brah.
Gotta get on the waves, brah.
You gotta let those little piggies loose, all right? Those shoes are constricted."
I don't like that. Why is he talking like that in Idaho?
Well, because your dad's always talking about being in the water, right? He's talking.
I didn't wear shoes for like 4 weeks.
That is literally something my dad has said. Yes, I know.
Sometimes I jerk off into the Pacific Ocean to feel alive again.
Sometimes while I'm hanging 10.
He's always hanging 10.
Why do you guys make his dad sound like this?
Because he sounds like that.
Sometimes I want a shark to bite me so I can experience what it's like to be in the next life.
Sometimes you just gotta say cowabunga.
Okay. So there was, despite them all being my, I guess, extended family, I don't know anybody, but during this family reunion, there was a talent show. And the big thing is that I got second place in the talent show. I lost to a bunch of professional cheerleaders. So
was it cheerleading?
I'm going to give props to the cheerleaders for fucking destroying a 5-year-old, right? We don't give enough credit
props
to them.
They brought almost losing to a 5-year-old.
Yeah, they could have been shit cheerleaders.
Yeah, but instead they brought their A game. And, they brought it on.
Like the movie, Bring It On.
Yeah.
What was your talent? Or should we guess?
It was the Irish jig. I committed a cultural appropriation to get second place in that talent show. I did an Irish jig in cowboy boots.
That's
Wow.
adorable.
Yeah, I love that. Like, were people clapping? Were
Oh,
they just
100%.
like-
People loved it. I must have been so goddamn cute.
Oh,
That was
God.
the one. That was the same thing where my mom was trying to encourage my brother to go up on stage with me and compete with me, and he was just like, no.
It's weird because I feel like I've had a couple family reunions that I've been to, and like we've had like talent shows at ours, so it must be like a very tribal thing of like, let's see which branch has the best genes, who can perform the best on stage.
Who can perform the best? Yeah.
Because when I was 9, I went to a family reunion and I went up and told jokes that like I read in a joke book, and people weren't laughing because they thought they were funny. They were laughing because they saw it was a novelty and they just wanted to like heckle me in the funniest way.
Yeah.
So I get up as a 9-year-old and I was like, a man walks into a bar. What does he say? And just some like drunk uncle from the back goes, "Ah, fuck."
It just adds this kid.
Yeah. And I was like, no, he says, ouch. Thank you. Then I walked off stage.
Oh.
Ah, fuck! That's way
Yeah.
cooler.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the first and only time that our family ever went to a family reunion, and that's kind of half the reason I didn't think it was real, because we had never gone to one ever again.
Okay, that's good. My family never had a family reunion, let alone a family reunion talent show.
Well, you come from a broken home, so.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
That's got to be the source of everything that's wrong with you, Robert. Your parents stayed together.
You know what? Mm.
Yeah, he's always looking for trauma.
Well, don't pick on us broken kids, especially not Malcolm. He's tender.
Wow, Sasha, your mom let you have 2 segments?
Wow.
She said I was a growing boy and I needed all my segments. One of my segments didn't descend until I was 4.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
Yo, Robert, I just gotta talk to you for a second. My favorite wedding guest, he's got 2 segments, so you need you to shut the fuck up.
Oh, you're doing my dad. You're doing my dad. It took me a second. 'Cause that's not how my dad talks. That's how Malcolm and Sasha imagine he
Sasha's
does.
segments, I gotta say, he's got the nicest segments.
Yeah.
Is primo, bro. You can't deny the segments.
All right. Well, I was gonna talk about, so do any of you know who the rapper Young Thug is?
Yeah, I've heard of
Yeah.
him. Yeah, isn't he getting a RICO charge or something right now?
Young Thug he's got a RICO charge right now. He is the head of what prosecutors are alleging is a street gang, but he calls a record label, which is called YSL Records.
So Death Row Records, but not.
Yeah, it's like as I guess a millennial death row. But essentially, so he's under he's got a lot of charges against him, which is one of the things that's interesting about this case is that he is actually the test case for Donald Trump's own RICO trial, because it's happening in the same county in Georgia, which is Fullerton County.
Ah,
But-
okay.
Here's the thing. His trial, Young Thug's trial, started on Monday as of this recording, which is November 27th. I'm going to list to you 15 of the most bizarre moments that have happened in this trial so far.
Okay.
Okay.
Like, nothing I'm saying has been made up.
Okay.
So it's part of like this is a trial, but like in the part of like the pre-trial, like getting everything going, there are other hearings. And one of the things that happened is that there's another rapper who's kind of been implicated in all these charges. So like there's a lot of just like gang related charges, like people being, hired to like commit like hitmen stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's
and drugs and-
essentially what RICO is. It's you can't charge them directly for the crime, but you can charge them with conspiracy or hiring people for doing all these sorts of stuff.
So essentially, when Gunna, which is one of the rappers on the label who's been charged as being a part of this gang,
was that the fellow that took a picture of himself at the murder scene?
maybe
Post murder
Um,
selfie.
Real bright bulb.
with the YSL trial? It starts in January of this year. They are using some of the rap lyrics to sort of implicate Young Thug as being the head of this crime family known as YSL. Now, he read the lyrics to a song called Slime Shit.
Associate of YSL released a song on YouTube titled Slime Shit, where the lyrics state, hey, this is that slime shit. Hey, YSL shit. Hey, killing 12 shit. Hey, fuck a jail shit. Hey, cooking white brick.
Then the next day, they had a Zoom play out because I think someone had COVID, in which the one of the Zooms was hijacked and replaced with a video playing. This is the best way you could describe it is just pornography. They were playing it with and it was apparently an amateur production because they kept saying in the video "Free Young Thug," and it took them.
They're just fucking on camera, and so in the background it's just like "Free Young Thug, free young thug," like it's subliminal messaging.
Yeah, so essentially that was what's happening. So then they had to cut that feed very quickly. Young Thug, so he has co-defendants, and one of the co-defendants goes up to Young Thug, gives him in front of everyone a baggie of just drugs. He just hands him drugs. It turns out he gave Young Thug Percocets, marijuana, and tobacco in a little wrapped plastic.
Court.
In court. It's a whole thing. I have the video if you want to see it. And immediately there's a lot of pandemonium as to like, how the hell did he get drugs in here? Why was he handed drugs? Why did he do it in front of everyone? How did he think they were not going to get noticed right away? Like the deputy, like basically had to confront Young Thug and like take the pills and like turned into pandemonium. Then one of the jurors who's in the trial or like during the jury selection phase is punished because they decided to go on a trip to the Dominican Republic instead of going to jury duty. And when the woman returned, the judge was like, I need you to write a 30-page essay as to what is the significant role of being in jury duty and being a juror. And he was serious. He gave the woman 3 weeks to write a 30-page essay, and he was going, and this is his quote, I'm running it through a plagiarism checker. And he goes, years ago, people who looked like us couldn't serve on juries. It was prohibited. Yeah. And then additionally, the judge gave her strict guidelines on the paper, which included it needed to be written the APA style with 10 primary sources and 10 secondary sources.
Good Lord. Was she like, is that double spaced or single spaced? Single spaced. No!
Then one of Young Gravy's lawyers was then threatened with his own jail time a few weeks later.
What?
And was told by the same judge that he had to write a 17-page essay.
Where's he pulling these numbers from?
For being held in contempt of court.
Why is this judge handing out fucking assignments like this is AP English? Like, what the fuck is going on?
So apparently one of it was is that he was one of the he's this attorney, Eric R. Johnson, who was, I guess, representing one of the co-defendants. And he reportedly, this is according to the article, I'm getting all this from XXL Mag, reportedly refused to buy lunch for other attorneys. And so the judge held him in contempt of court. And then he had to write the 17-page essay on, and his topic was the importance of professionalism in the court. And of course, it had to be in the APA style, which included 20 primary and secondary sources. And the judge gave him a deadline of a month to turn his paper, or he would face 20 days in jail. And he said, I would suggest you write this in a satisfactory manner.
A great suggestion. Then
one of the other lawyers, kind of getting sick of what's going on with this judge, told the judge, and this is a real, in the pre-arguments, he goes, hey man, this is all cap, to be honest. And that caused
no cap. For real.
Quote is, during the hearing, a lawyer stood before Judge Glanville to address accusations that the legal rep, along with other defense attorneys, were giving their clients candy and offering them to use their cell phones before trial, which the judge said was totally unacceptable. And that was one of the lawyers was like, it's cap. It's cap, to be honest.
It's great that they're being nice to them and giving them candy and letting them make phone calls.
But don't worry, man. Another defense attorney, so this is that's a second attempt. We're talking about a third one is then arrested for bringing contraband and assaulting an officer in the court.
We're living in Idiocracy. Nothing can change my mind now. This is just the court scene from Idiocracy.
So so the attorney was Anastasios was it Manetas? I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a Greek name. He was representing one of the co-defendants. And yeah, he was caught bringing prescription pills into the courthouse for his client.
Sal Goodman ass lawyer. What the fuck?
When he was caught, he was allegedly caught with the prescription pills in court, and then he threw his cell phone at a deputy to try to get away.
What the fuck?
And then obviously he was arrested.
Obviously he was arrested.
So don't worry. Then a couple of weeks later, one of the public defenders is doing an interview after one of the pretrial stuff. And then she makes the remark, her name's Angela DeWilliams, that she's wanting to start an OnlyFans because of the exposure she's getting. She goes, "We were under the impression that Georgia Public Defender Council was advocating for us. And once they put those walls up, I'm thinking I need to start an OnlyFans. I asked for additional funds in March, and that was met with a letter from the director saying she doesn't need to meet with me anymore. I need to know what she has done to advocate for the appointed counsel in this case." So that happens, and a lot of people are going, "What the fuck? Why are you bringing OnlyFans into
The
this?"
public defender is threatening to start an OnlyFans is the way only way I can read that.
She's complaining that she's getting so paid so poorly that she needs an OnlyFans just to make ends meet. So that lawyer that I talked about earlier, the one who had to write the essay about professionalism.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because I know we've talked about 3 or 4 different lawyers. So because he wasn't willing to pay for, I guess, his turn for the lunch. So his thing is, this is all happening in Georgia. So what happens is he goes to finally to make up for it. He's like, "I'm going to pay for lunch for a whole week." Turns out he just goes to the strip club nearby, Magic City, which is known for the chicken wings.
Oh my God.
Clears them out. He clears them out. He apparently got the chef to come in early and just cook all the wings.
Just brought in strip club wings for the court.
My God.
What is going on in Georgia?
They made a chef come in early, cook all those delicious wings. They were hot and ready for me to pick up at the time. They told me they made it, so I was very happy. And then he goes, "I like to support local businesses. I like to support minority employers. I've been there many times to show my support for the local community."
Been there many times.
For the local community.
And then again, this is all happening in the last couple of months. The next month, it goes, one of the deputies, who's the court officers, she's arrested for smuggling more contraband in because she's having an affair with one of the co-defendants.
What the fuck?
The curse trial.
And then this is the one of the last parts. That's 2 more, but one of I'm telling you, it's crazier than the last. Then one of the times there's a day, and this is what happened this week. So the judge got a new dog. Judge Glanville got a new dog, and he was like, "I don't have anyone to take care of it, so I'm just going to bring the dog into the courthouse." And then he told everyone, "If you hear a jingling sound like a bell, please don't think I'm doing anything creepy up here. I have my dog. His name is Jack. I think some of you may have seen him already. He lives the best life ever. He's pampered. He's a Labrador Retriever."
All right.
I mean, I could have been using the jingling excuse this whole time and just passed it off on a dog.
I could have been getting head.
And then one of the last bit was that one of the co-defendants, they revealed where he was arrested, and it turns out that the co-defendant known as Shannon S.B. Stillwell was arrested at what he called a religious ceremony in which he was at the moment the cops showed up sacrificing a goat.
Oh,
a live goat. So they show him up and they could
Ooh.
and that then he was making the argument that the cops could had unlawfully disrupted his religious practices. They should have waited afterwards. And apparently everyone all the worshipers who were there were all wearing white in the sacrifice of the goats in an effort to bring forth Loa, which helped to run the universe and grant blessings.
Huh?
When asked about which religion this was, they couldn't give an answer. So I know that was a lot to take in. I know I didn't give you guys a lot to.
You forgot the best part of the trial.
What was the best part? What was in your opinion, the best part?
When Young Thug's lawyer says that Young Thug stands for truly humble under God.
That's beautiful.
That's awesome.
Possibly the most chicanerous statement ever uttered in the courtroom.
Okay, let's cap this out with the user fucking question, and then we can hop out of this hellish existence of ours. Okay, so we have a question that's coming from someone who would like to be known as Archie, and their question is: Seinfuck Nation, what's up?
What's up?
You fellas do a lot of musical bits on the pod, so here's a question for the fellas. If you had to write and perform a musical about any historical event or person, who or what would it be about?
Ooh, that is a thinker, isn't it? It's not so easy to answer right off the bat.
I think I've got a fair answer, but I am curious.
You go then.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Stop
go. Why are you making
chastising
us suffer?
for being like, no,
Because usually I'm the one who reads the questions, then you guys chime in. Come on.
Yeah, and you said last week that you read these weeks in advance, so you've had time to stew on this.
No, this one I read today, like an hour ago. That's great. I have more time to prepare. I'd love to write a musical ballad about Emperor Norton. Do you know about Emperor Norton?
Oh, is he the guy in San Francisco?
Yeah, he's the absolutely insane guy, Emperor Norton. I'm trying to remember his full name right now, but he was a guy, a businessman who basically became bankrupt after like betting on like South American rice, something ridiculous, but he lived in San Francisco. Afterwards he went fucking insane, and he ended up declaring himself Emperor of these United States and Protectorate of Mexico and all this other stuff. Obviously he's crazy, but the funniest part about it is that people fucking love the guy. He gave out his own fucking currency that people paid real American dollars for in like a whole fucking thing. He was friends with Mark Twain. He was like, and now like a huge section of the Golden Gate Bridge is named after him. And so he's like incredibly interesting person. I would definitely recommend you look him up, but just an absolutely insane motherfucker who succeeded in being insane as well as you can succeed in that.
I like that answer. That's actually really good. Although I think there's something very funny about having a section
of a bridge.
A bridge named after you, but not the whole bridge.
It is very contentious. That's just something that the Golden Gate Bridge has, that there's sections named after different people from it.
Yeah, you're like, you get the stretch from, this 1 mile stretch is named after you. And no one will know.
But he's got his own building. He's got that used to be like the little hotel that he ran out of. And
okay, I've got an answer.
Oh, yeah?
I would do a musical about the life and career of the band, the Beatles. But every song would be Escape the Pina Colada Song by Rupert Holmes. So it would be like the four of them being like, well, I guess it's just been a hard day's night. Oh, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Boom, 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 boom. For everything.
You're gonna get a copyright strike.
Absolutely.
I have an answer now. I know what mine's going to be.
Okay.
I think I would write a musical about the most infamous first lady to ever exist.
Miss Nancy?
and Miss Nancy Reagan. All right. And it'll be about her times on the MGM lot when she became the throat goat.
No, you got to go into the presidency. You got to go into it. You got to specifically.
Oh no, it'll end with we'll end with her in the presidency, but we got to begin with her time on the lot.
I can already see like the posters for this, Malcolm. It's like it's the presidential desk. It is just the like backdrop of the Oval Office, and then you just see a pair of knees underneath the table.
Yeah.
And the tagline will be, she's doing her own kind of throat singing.
No.
Yeah, it'll be before before Nancy Reagan there was Miss Davis, and then there'll be a ballad where she's trying to suck Rock Hudson, and Rock Hudson's like, no, I don't want that.
No, you can't suck me.
Have you met my friend Ronald?
No, I
Nice.
mean we'll just call it Throat Goat the musical, and that's it.
Well, you guys have such good ones. I really don't know what I would make mine about. I guess if I had to pick one, I would make a little number about how the former and most famous CIA director had a terrible secret, and that is J. Edgar Hoover liked to cross-dress, and he is not a man that can serve at all.
See, that's a thing that I would say, like, if someone asked me, or if someone went up to me one day and say, oh, have you heard about that new musical about J. Edgar Hoover? I'd kind of believe it's real.
Yeah, that's pretty tangible, right? Have them come up to him and like ask some serious questions about like contention over the Middle East versus Russia, and he'll be like, yes, these reports are very important. Send them to the president immediately, and then he leaves, and he's just like, finally alone with my brazier, you know. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just that he was a CIA director.
Yeah, and the rumor was that his number 2, Clyde Tolson, was actually his longtime lover.
Wow, interesting.
Because they rode to and from work together, ate lunch, and were.
Oh, so now if I carpool, I'm gay now, Malcolm? Is that what it means?
Yeah.
Damn it!
I'm gonna change.
I should have known.
Well, when you are cutting off the crusts of your friend's sandwiches, then maybe.
I'm gonna actually write a musical about McCarthyism, but frame it like he was right.
I thought your answer was going to be you were going to have the life of famed wrestler The Miz, where the story is called "There's No Mizness Like Show Mizness."
I hate you.
Cut the bot.